Hi everyone, welcome to the Uvaro Demo Day. This is going to be a ton of fun. We have 4 amazing competitors, an amazing panel of judges. I'm so excited about the software solutions that are going to get shown today. We're going to dig right in. We've got a couple of housekeeping things to get started, and then for those of you who are joining us on YouTube, we're going to invite you right into our Zoom session so you can see what these pitches are all about. So let's get things going. First off, let me give you a sneak peek on who our judges are. We have a wonderful panel of judges. Ian, Ed, John, Jeff, they're going to introduce themselves in a moment. But to set the stage, we've got a couple of folks here who deliver training to sales folks. We have a sales leader. We have a sales professional who's also a Uvaro grad. This is a fun panel of judges. They're going to be critiquing, judging, adding notes, and this is an amazing learning opportunity for our grads, and it's an opportunity to put them in the live fire. It's not our instructors evaluating, it's actual people in the field. So this is going to be fun. You'll hear from them shortly. We also have 4 incredible competitors, and you see them here. Setting the stage, this is not the order. They don't yet know who's presenting in which order. Today we're going to hear 4 incredible pitches from each of them. We will crown a champion by the end of it, and you're going to get to see some incredible work. To set the stage, this presentation, this pitch is super challenging. Normally in the program, they get a full half hour to run discovery, do a demo. We've asked them to do everything you need to do on a discovery, show a product, and condense that to 15 minutes. This is a gauntlet. But for the competitors, when you get through this, rest assured, you've just had the most difficult sales conversation you've ever had, and so you're ready to kill it after this. We're going to cover a lot of things. Let me start off with actually some of the house rules for the audience, especially those in the actual Zoom environment. Ask that you keep yourself muted. We all have kids, dogs, construction. We love the sun, but it can be a distraction. So if you can keep yourself muted, keep your cameras on, that avoids any distractions to disrupt the competitors. As well, let's keep in mind, this is a fun space to build up. We're launching some amazing careers. Critical feedback, criticism is always welcome, but let's keep in mind how challenging this is, and we're off to launch some amazing careers, so keep that in mind. A couple of highlights for the competitors yourselves. Make sure you remind the audience who you're selling to, what you're selling, so that they know what product you're going to be showing and who you're actually talking to. We know you're giving some challenges to Greg. He's got to wear a lot of hats today, but make sure you let the audience know which hat he's wearing. Also, you're going to have exactly 15 minutes. I will cut you off, and for those who are on the stream, you'll hear that gong if they've run out of time. It's a challenge. Every event, we have a few people who hit that limit, so make sure you aim to get that closure, get that commitment, and move on to the next steps before your 15 minutes. During the 2-minute break, after your presentation, we'll let our judges fill out their notes, comments. We'll let the next competitor know who's up. So they'll be finding it out as you go. And yes, we will take a short break right in the middle so that people can top up their water, hit the bathroom, get some more caffeine. I have a second Coke here to keep me going, but this is going to be a lot of fun. There's no other real housekeeping. We're going to have a good time. Let's actually get ourselves going. So for those in the Zoom environment, I am going to stop my sharing. Let's actually get this set up. And for those who are on YouTube, let's actually bring you right into the Zoom environment. Here we go. Can we get a quick wave? Hey, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's get started off with some introductions. Our judges. Let's do 4 introductions, the same order that I mentioned earlier. Ian, John, Ed, Jeff, in that order. Could you let our audience know, who you are, what company you're with, the company does, and a quick icebreaker question. Can you tell the audience what is the first thing you ever sold? Ian, let's kick it off.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey everyone, I'm Ian Carnavale. I'm the co-founder of Volley, and we help our clients scale personalized outreach with really great talent and research data. We've also hired 6 Uvaro grads so far and hoping for more. I'm excited to be here. One of the first things I sold, so in middle school, when I had a locker, I used to bring in like cans of soda into my locker, and would sell those cans for about $1 each because you couldn't have soda in the school.
I love it. That's so good. And I love how on brand you are. Is that a volleyball behind you in your office there?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yes,
That's
it is.
perfect. John, can you keep it going and introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm business products lead here at Uvaro. I help connect our grads to awesome employers like Volley. The first thing I ever sold, I went door to door selling snow shoveling services. I was about 8. My shovel was about this big, and I asked for like $5. I think I made one sale, and about 10 minutes into it, the homeowner came out and said, nah, "It's fine. Here's your $5. You can go ahead, just leave."
Awesome. Quickest $5 ever. Great job. Before we continue the introductions, I want to give a quick 2-minute heads up to our first competitor. Our first competitor for today's demo competition. Should I just keep speaking slowly? Keep them guessing? No. Roxy, you're up first. So you've got a couple of minutes to get yourself set up. But let's quickly continue the introductions. Ed, could you keep us going?
Sure. Hey, everyone. My name is Ed Jaffe. I'm the founder of a company called Demo Solutions. We work with SaaS companies to help them deliver more impactful demos and presentations, so coaching, training, that sort of thing. So I think the first sale I can think of is selling candy bars outside the grocery store for food for school fundraisers when I was, I don't know, 8, 9 years old. I think the more interesting early sale is I got my college band sponsored. So every time we played shows, I would give shout out to the local music store we get discounts and free strings and stuff because I broke strings on stage every show and I cannot afford to keep replacing them. So got a sponsorship, got strings.
Love the need-based sale. Yeah, not the customer sale, but the band. That's the right way to do it. Love it. Jeff, can you bring us home?
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to meet everyone. Really pumped to be here and excited for this competition. So my name is Jeff Risley. I'm the founder of the Sales Health Alliance, and Sales Health Alliance was really created to help improve sales performance and resilience through better mental health. So we work with sales teams and different corporations to raise awareness around mental health, but also provide all sorts of really cool strategies around mindset, resilience, EQ to help you boost your sales performance and manage your anxiety on a little better on a daily basis. And I think one of the first things I ever sold was after university. I took some time to travel Southeast Asia, found myself in Australia for a little bit and needed to make some money. So I was selling Australian farm products over the phone, which was pretty unique experience. So that's my story.
Nice. Love the need, and especially with the pressure of a competition. It's a little bit of a pressure cooker right here. That anxiety and that mental health is going to be a big thing. So and our audience will be looking forward to your comments. Okay, let's get the ball rolling. This is really, really good. We've done our introductions. Roxy knows she's up first. We've covered the house rules. Before we dig in, our judges, can I confirm? Can I get a thumbs up? Do you all have access to your scorecards? You're good to go? Nice, good. Head nodding, awesome. And our competitors, we went over the rules of engagement. Any other questions? Anything we need to cover before we get started? Okay. Roxy, you ready to go? Awesome. I know I saw a lot of smack talk and some challenges on Instagram earlier. I know you've all been supporting each other. I can't wait to see this stuff. Roxy, it's yours. Reminder to introduce yourself, your product, your buyer, and once you get going, I'll put those 15 minutes on the timer. I'm going to mute myself, hand the mic to you. It's all yours.
Thanks, Joseph. Hi, everybody. Before we get started, I just wanted to say hello to everyone. My name is Roxy, and I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank our instructors, my awesome classmates, the whole Uvaro team, and our judges. It's awesome to see you, and I hope you enjoy your time with us. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be selling Dooley to my awesome prospect, Greg, who's actually a sales manager who oversees a large sales team that is in different cities all over the place. They are currently struggling with note syncing to Salesforce and a little bit of CRM hygiene, like prior to COVID, but remote work has really shown how disorganized and inconsistent it can really be. And this was an inbound lead. We had a short conversation on the phone after he filled out the contact us form, which led to this demo. And Dooley, for those of you who don't know, is the fastest way to update Salesforce, take sales notes, and easily manage all your deals so nothing slips through the cracks. Perfect. So you're going to start the timer at when I say, hey, Greg, right, Joseph?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Okay, so whenever we're ready, I am ready. Hey, Greg, how you doing? Oh no, he's muted. I can't hear you. But we're matching colors, so I'll forgive you.
It's good. You think after all these months of using Zoom that I would have figured that out, but here we are.
That's okay. I'm not really good at lip reading, but I'm glad that we figured it out.
There was no profanity. It was all good. I just said thank you for following up. It's good to be speaking with you.
Perfect. I'm happy that we get a chance to do it on this sunny day. It's the first day my dogs haven't totally covered my house in mud, so I'm pretty hyped about that.
Oh, that's good. It's for me. It's a flock of children that are muddying up the house. So I agree. I second that.
Speaking of flock of children, I just want to get something out there that I'm actually working in a temporary workspace. This isn't my room. This is my brother's. I'd never have this many sports medals. Let's get real. And if you hear dogs or children, it's my 9-month-old or my 2 dogs. If they come in, you get an extra show. No charge, I promise.
Awesome. I wonder who's louder, the dogs or the 9-month-old?
Honestly, it's a competition. She's teething.
Oh, okay, that's nasty.
It's everybody's having a good time. Let's put it that way. So before we get into the full-blown demo, I just wanted to set like a super quick agenda for us so you know what's going on. I will be asking you a few questions just to dig a little bit deeper on how I can help you and show you the best part of the platform that apply to you. You can interrupt me at any time you want, but at the end of this demo, I will be asking you if you think we're a good fit and if we can schedule a deeper dive. Does that sound okay with you?
Yeah, that sounds great. I think that sounds like a good way to start.
Perfect. And we're still doing a hard stop at 15 minutes, correct?
Yeah, I've got something I got to step into in about 13 minutes here. So
hopefully it's not mud, so I'll get you out of here.
yeah, no, that's great. Thank you.
Perfect, not a problem. So I just wanted to ask you, can you tell me what actually sparked you to book this meeting with me? Because I know you filled out the form, but now we're here, we're in the same room. So what led to this?
Yeah, so I mean, running a sales team, I'm used to having, just to be candid, I'm used to having my team and my reps in arm's reach. And I know I've been struggling with adapting to everybody being remote. And so, you know, instead of having people in arm's reach to make sure notes are updated and deals are being tracked, we're falling way behind. And I mean, I have a sense the team's disorganized, frankly. I don't know whether they're tracking on the deals that we need to track. I'd say, like for me, I have this conflict that I need them to keep those deals up to date, but I need them to be selling. We're missing our targets, frankly, as is everyone, I suppose, in some manner. But I would rather have them selling than updating systems, so I'm conflicted by that. And then I've got pressure coming my way that I need to be providing updates, and I just don't have the information I need.
I can totally understand that. I mean, with working remote, everyone's kind of had a tough go, so I totally get it. With what you've told me, because we're, you know, not at arm's reach, as you said, so now, you know, one-on-ones are so much more important. Would you say that a large part of it is surrounding the CRM hygiene when you have those one-on-ones with your team?
I mean, when I am having those one-on-ones, I think that there's a lot of information that's in their heads. I mean, people are keeping track. I mean, I know that there's activity happening. I'm just not seeing what that is. It's not translating into records.
Okay, so is there a process in place right now for them with like note taking? And if there's, can you walk me through how that happens?
So, I mean, I would say that a process isn't a process if nobody's following it. This is some guidelines. But I'd say that we always have consistent things we're looking for. So, I mean, we have a standard sales process that we've got mapped into our CRM. So we use Salesforce. And so it's a 5-stage process. We have gates that we're looking for that need to be passed for each step in that process. There are certain, of course, bits of information that get fed into that. We do have ICP, so client profiles that are fed into Salesforce, so we can try to match against that at the top of the funnel that they can then use throughout the process. Yeah, again, whenever I get on a call, we're manually updating stages. So if it's supposed to be a B, it's actually still sitting in C. Records don't get updated for a couple of weeks at a time.
Okay, totally understandable. I totally get it. And that, to me, it seems like it creates a very busy environment for you. Do you agree?
Well, it's a headache for sure. I mean, we're not hitting targets and we want to understand why. And we have deals that when they close, they're surprises, and then deals that we expect that fall out of the funnel. And so I'm going to lose my job if this keeps happening, frankly.
No.
Let alone the reps. So we've just got to get this under control.
That's funny, because the next question I was going to ask you is, you're such a busy man, and being a sales manager, everyone wants to know where Greg is, but does anyone ask how Greg is? Like, how is he doing? How does that really affect you? Like your heart, you know what I mean?
Roxy, you might be the first person to ask that for me in the last 6 months, if I'm honest.
Honestly, anytime I can call you, we'll set like a 5-minute and I'll be like, Greg, how you doing? How you doing, man?
I'd appreciate that. We can put your 9-month-old on and we can scream together. Just scream.
Honestly, you would be, you guys can have like a little cry session. Therapy's free here, so totally.
I thought I was buying some software, but I'm getting more than I bargained for here. That's for sure.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you could just tell me, you did tell me that you are worried about your job, and I do understand everything rolls down. So I hope that with the next question, I can kind of help you. Well, it's not really a question. So since no one's asked you how you are, I want to kind of make us wizards and give you a little CRM magic wand and ask you what your perfect Harry Potter-like solution would look like for this.
Well, the Harry Potter solution would probably be, we've got some tools that we are recording our calls with. We do get call recording. If we could magically sync those calls and then whatever documentation is coming from those calls into Salesforce, so that, reps, they're just going to need to manually make those updates, but it's just not another step in their process. So they can spend more time selling. That's the dream, I think, is that we're in one place for the reps, that they get off a call, and without requiring them to have to go and log in to another system, pass through a few gates, they can just take their notes and they're automatically synced. And
perfect.
We have status on the deal.
I totally get that. Are you cool if I share my screen with you very shortly?
Yeah, sure.
Would you be okay with that? Because I actually want to show you something where we can make the magic happen. Let me know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Is it thinking? Ta-da! So you see, here's the old way to sell and the new way to sell. So on the left, you have a pirate treasure hunt map showing you that you got to go all over the place. And on the right-hand side, actually, the weather kind of worked with me. It's the son of sales. Right? It's the happy Dooley way, we're going to rock down to Dooley Avenue. So I want to take you down this journey with me. And you being a Waterloo guy and me being a Kitchener girl, I thought I would keep this local. So I'm pretty sure you know these guys.
Yeah, I've heard a thing or two about them.
You've heard a thing or two, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm glad. Good. I'm in the right room. So Vidyard is actually one of our clients, and they were not having a good time like yourself prior to this, right? The notes are being taken either on a scrap piece of paper, on Evernote, or Google Docs, and no one was syncing anything. And I remember Chris saying that, this is a neat idea, but I don't know if it's a game changer. Well, let me tell you, he changed his tune a little bit. And with the, 65% more data capture in Salesforce, he's quite a happy camper. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm actually going to move over to the next slide to show you how we can do that. This right here, if you look to the right hand of my screen, is the little sync button where your reps can actually sync their notes, the activity, the contacts, the fields, and the task after they're done, or during the phone call. So it's all in one place. It all happens, remotely. No one has to send a pigeon with their notes to you. So you have it in the one place and you can see everything. So I think that touches on one of the points that you mentioned, that everything's everywhere and you're kind of sitting in chaos. Now, for the visual part of this, if you look to the left-hand side, you mentioned deals. They're everywhere. You can't really tell, you can't make up what's what. This is a way to update your pipeline with little dials. So you can go from trial, negotiation, qualification to prospect, and you can visually just see and be like, boom, this is what I'm looking at. This is where my team is at. So I think that would be another thing that you mentioned that could solve your problem. And the last thing is, I can't help you with yoga, but I can help you control the chaos, and OneNote's platform to rule them all. I don't know if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. If you're not, we'll still be friends, I guess. But let me help you. Let me ask you how you're feeling. Let me be, that person for you. I know it's just screenshots that I could show you. They don't let me do the full demo because I can't steal all the thunder from my AE. So I would love for you to see the full platform and what it can do for you. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, so it's helpful to get some context. I think something that's jumping out is, I mean, I see all these different items here, Evernote, Microsoft Word, Notepad. I get that we can't take paper notes and magically put them in, but is Dooley effectively going to take all these different tools, so wherever my people are taking notes?
Yeah, it should all sync together. Yep, they're compatible. If we go back, I can actually send you the first slide, the old way and the new way. That's actually our integration.
Awesome.
It's
okay.
An integration piece.
Well, this is interesting, Roxy, because I mean, my biggest concern is giving another system for people to log into, and what you're showing makes it appear that I will need to do that. So, I mean, what comes next? Because I think I would like to learn a little bit more.
So the next step would be an actual deeper dive with one of my account executives. I can set you up with Ryan. He would go through the whole platform with you. I mean, the nice thing that it's not really a huge setup. It just syncs with your Salesforce account, which is kind of cool. But, he can go through a little bit deeper to show you how and what and why. But he would need 30 minutes of your time if you're okay with that. I know you had a couple days for next week for this demo. Could I grab one of those and actually slide you in there?
Sure. I mean, who should I involve? Is this just something that?
You know what? Actually, I think you should bring one of your reps who's having the biggest trouble with note taking right now.
Okay.
Just to have them see, and obviously bring yourself. I'll be there. I kind of like you, even though sometimes you're muted, but that's okay. So that would be awesome. And I mean, is there anyone else that you can think of that would benefit from being on that demo?
Well, I guess my only thought is I don't have the time to be implementing a tool and making sure it's all working. So just wondered technically,
well, maybe you're right. If you have anyone in IT who wants to be on it, just to kind of take more work of your hands and put it in theirs, because I know how busy you are, and I'm so sorry.
Well, why don't it's a few people to wrangle on my side, so why don't you send me some times, and then I can just do a cross compare with calendars, and we can I can just shoot you back the time that would work.
Perfect. I totally get that, and I totally understand it. But from what you've told me, you want the implementation to happen quite, quickly because you're having this problem. So how about I have the Wednesday that you had for next week? How about I just tentatively put you in there? And if we got to move it, we got to move it. But honestly, I don't want Ryan to get booked up and you don't have a chance to do this.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah. Why don't we do that? Let's just put the time in. That works for me. And then if we need to move it, we can.
Perfect.
And then I'll just coordinate with you to get the right people in.
Awesome. And is your email still is it greg@itsawesome.com?
You got it.
Perfect. I will be sending over that invite. And if you come up with anybody else that you want to have on this call, just shoot it over to me and I'll send them the invite so it's all in one place.
Okay.
Perfect.
Great.
Greg,
okay.
I'm going to give you a minute and a half back of your time. Go have a coffee. Please don't cry. We're here for you. I got you.
All right. Thank you.
You take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Wow, Roxy, well done. Well done. Call that out. A minute and a half. I had 1:31 left on my timer. Great use of timing. I'm going to circle back to you in a moment, but I want to give a heads up to our second competitor so that they can get ready. Serge, you're up next. So while you're getting yourself ready and our judges are finishing up their notes and comments and ratings, Roxy, how are you feeling?
Good. I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Nice.
I'm calm.
You managed that timing so well. I was watching it. I was so eager to be able to use my gong sound effect, but you didn't give me a chance. So
no, it scared me in the past demo days. I'm like, nah. My 9-month-old's sleeping. My husband's watching. You're not waking up my kid, Joseph.
Nice. So how are you feeling now that you're all done? You're onto the hot seat. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy. I think that went well. I enjoyed it. It's what I like to do. So.
Awesome.
No stress.
You had some fantastic comments in the chat there. Good job not folding to the anxiety or the stress of the competition. This is a good time.
Thank you so much.
Nice. quick check in. I see some of our judges still firing away some notes, and I see some scores coming in. When you're good to move forward, judges, can I get a quick thumbs up just to make sure we're solid? Good stuff. 1, 2. There we go. 3 and 4. Okay, we're seeing good. Serge, any questions? You're good to go? All set up?
I'm good to go.
Awesome. So I am going to mute myself in a moment. Quick friendly reminder, what you're selling, who you're selling it to. After you get to the intro, that's when we'll put 15 minutes on the clock. So
okay,
I'll mute things up. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Richard Serge Roy, 27 from Staten Island, New York. The product I'll be demoing today is a software called True Coach. It's a piece of personal training software, basically enabling personal trainers to maximize their time when we talk about creating programs for long term, whether that be 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. Also, it helps with client accountability when they're not in the gym and they're either remote in same location or out of state. And that's pretty much it. So I'm ready to go. All right. Greg, how are you? Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Serge. Good to be talking with you.
Finally, I remember I sent you a video after we were talking about some exercise and totally left me hanging, but it's good to have you here.
Yeah.
Totally okay.
Yeah. 3 months later, we're still working our way through that video.
That's fine. That's fine. I can imagine you're a busy guy. So we're not going to be here for very long, probably about 15 minutes or so, but I'd like to try and give at least 5 minutes back. So we'll see if we could stay along those lines. And of course, we want to keep this as casual of a conversation as possible. I want to see where I can help you, not necessarily just hand you a product, right? So without further ado, let me just go ahead and ask this question. Where are you now in your journey of personal training and management?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, it's nothing new, just with what the pandemic's done for the business. I mean, everyone's out of, not only am I not seeing my trainers, I'm not seeing my customers anymore. And so I think that the way I describe it is the house is on fire. We're just now, I think, behind the game and trying to find a way to recover some mind share with our customers and bring some value added offering. I think the people who used to work with our trainers and come to our facilities and they're just going to YouTube. So you got Body Coach and HasFit just taking our business away. We need some way to differentiate our offering.
Right. Okay. So let's start from the very bottom. Now, we know how you obtain the client, whether that be marketing, someone walks in, right? But now when we turn that person into a client, what happens with their programming? Where does that start?
I mean, traditionally, so right now, obviously our facility shut down. We have each of our managers, or I guess our trainers, effectively, they've got their own system for coordinating activities and exercise with their clients. So I mean, there's a lot of email. I get some anecdotes here and there about what's working and what's not. But it's a mishmash, really. Just each of our trainers is doing something different.
Right. Okay. So then I guess when we talk about accountability or client tracking, it's a little hard to synthesize all that information, correct?
I'd agree. I mean, we're way behind. I mean, we're behind in our numbers. So we just, we're looking for some way to boost accountability, but also we just gotta, I think we gotta get to a place where we can see that create a differentiated experience for our trainers.
Right. Okay. So let me ask another question. When we talk about being remote or being away, what does that tech stack look like? What pieces of software are they using?
Would you call it email software?
Maybe.
I suppose. I mean, I think it's likely that. I think one of our more sophisticated trainers, I've seen them using Google Sheets for tracking exercises and outcomes with their clients. We ran into a privacy issue recently where they had tabs for their different clients. And so that obviously created some challenges. People got in and started seeing other personal information, but it's a real mix. And I don't think that we have trainers who are low tech. I know that there's tools out there that they could be using. They're open to technology. We just don't have a good item or a good tool for them to use.
Right. Okay. So let me surmise everything we just talked about. Is that okay?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay. So if I can surmise correctly, and please tell me if I'm incorrect, it sounds like for the most part, the training team in itself, in regards to how they do their programming, is a little too customizable or individual per trainer. And you're kind of looking for a solution that could help synthesize all of that and put all of that information in-house without clients having to exit different applications and bouncing from back and forth, and having clients or personal trainers rather be able to communicate on the same platform. Am I correct on that?
That'd be great. I think you've synthesized well. The only thing I'd add is, I need to see what's going on. I mean,
Okay.
there's somebody running in the door, but I just don't see what's working and what's not. And if we have to hire or want to bring in new trainers as we try to grow the business back, we need to know what's working.
Okay, so what is attributing to your churn? Would it be just the lack of being incorporated into like the business itself, or from the client perspective?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think that there has been some trust eroded for sure between the trainers and myself, because people are out of the gym, and that's where we used to have the opportunity to connect. And so I think we're losing that line of sight in a way. And we may have some of our clients working with trainers, and we're just not seeing any of that.
Okay. All right. So here's what I want to do. I want to share my screen, but of course I want to ask your permission first. Can I go ahead and do that?
Yeah, I'd love to see.
Okay. All right. So here's what we got going on. Now, a lot of my clients, excuse me, a lot of my clients and our clients here at TrueCoach talk about this all the time, and your problems are exactly similar to ours. But instead of taking my clients and the clients that we've acquired through the team and talking about their experience, I'll just go ahead and use my own. So on the side is my side hustle while not working at TrueCoach. I also run my own personal training business as well. And I really rely heavily on TrueCoach for the simple fact of the things that you're talking about. In case when we talk about accountability, being able to effectively create a program, whether that be for a month or 3, and also keeping all that information in-house. So I want to use my client, Steven, who is, I'm going to be honest, is like the best client. So he's the best example for this one, but I want to go ahead and use that in this case. So when you had mentioned programming, one thing that struck out to me was the length of programming and the ability to create and keep that information in the app. So one thing I want to do is I want to show you how easy it is to go ahead and just click through the exercises if in case we needed to duplicate them. And granted, this isn't just a click here solution, but to show you the ease of how efficient this could be when we're talking about programming is definitely a vital piece. So once I've completed and copied all of those and I hit paste, it already populates. But now let's say Steven doesn't want to have a rest day. Let's go ahead and delete that. Let's say he wants to do something different. We can go ahead and, oops, that's my mistake. Sorry about that. My computer is a little bit laggy for some reason. I'm not exactly sure, but that's just what we're working with for today. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and delete that again. We'll go ahead and add a new exercise. And in this case, we'll just call it example 1, right? So we'll call it example 1. And then from here, we'll go into our earthworms. And you'll see here that the exercise will populate. But not only that, I'll also be able to show the exercise in itself. So we can go ahead and hit the video button, hit play, and then you'll notice the video starts to play. Now, before I continue, do you have any questions so far?
No, this gets to what we're looking for. This idea of value add. If we can embed video and content in and put that in as part of a program, this is exactly the kind of solution we're looking for.
Excellent. Okay, and without taking up too much time in regards to screen sharing, let's go ahead and just take a look at the goals. We'll go ahead and take a Steven's profile. You'll see his goals are easily listed here, rather short, but we can go ahead and get a little more detailed when we talk about his metrics. Now, this isn't to reveal his personal information, but in order to show how the metrics work, if we go ahead and click it, you'll see we have a tangible graph showing you day by day, and every time he dates in, exactly how much weight is left and the difference between his current goal. And I'll go ahead and stop my screen share. So do you have any questions for me, Greg?
And it looks like an awesome way for your trainers or you as a trainer to interact with your clients. I mean, for me as a manager, I've got a team of these trainers that I'm working with. I mean, at the end of the day, do trainers use it? And then do clients actually use it? Would be a big concern that I'd have, because it is asking people to log in. It's a different app.
Yeah, 100%. So the beauty of it is that the application is invite only. So you can go ahead and incorporate with your marketing, make it exclusive. So instead of saying we're using an application called TrueCoach, you could say we're using Equinox X TrueCoach is terms of marketing. This way, when the clients are aware you now have a remote option, they're more likely to go ahead and try out the program. Does that make sense? And I believe you mentioned something about security. We are SOC 1 and SOC 2 certified, but if you have an IT guy on your team and you want to talk to my AE about that and the pricing a little more in detail, we could do that in a later date.
Okay. So I guess the other question that I've got ultimately is, I mean, do you have, I mean, this is something that you use, which I appreciate seeing. I mean, I've got a team that I'm running. I mean, do you have clients who are seeing revenue increases? Because that's ultimately my biggest concern is capturing more revenue and more opportunity.
Yeah, of course. So our biggest client that we captured was New York Sports Club, and they have about 50 locations all across New York. And we've been able to implement not only our programming, but as well as the future programming for their other locations throughout the whole entire Eastern border. I didn't want to necessarily use big clients because I know sometimes when I have these conversations, it's like, I don't want to rely too heavily on bolstering them. So I wanted to use a personal experience, but I could totally understand what you're talking about in terms of revenue.
Cool. Okay. Well, we run a pretty lean team here. You mentioned IT, so I could probably bring our co-op in to get something set up to take a look at this. I'm just curious, I mean, is this going to be a heavy technical project to get stood up and implemented, or is that something that we work out as part of our next steps?
No, that's the beauty of it. If I'm being honest, I'm just good at listing things and putting them down. So the beauty of this application is very user-friendly, very easily to implement. And not only will the clients be able to use it effectively, the trainers will be able to as well. And you'll be able to overwatch all the programs also.
Okay. So what would you suggest from here, Serge? What's a good next step?
Well, here's what I want to do. I want to set you up with my account executive. They'll give you a little more detail in terms of the pricing, the security, but that meeting is going to be about 30 minutes. I do have some time next week, but I can adjust to your schedule. What times do you have available?
Well, like I said, I am doing a whole bunch of running around. We've got this co-op with us a couple days a week, but I probably want to include them in that meeting. So if you send over some times, I'll just try to coordinate with them.
Well, what time is the co-op meeting, if you don't mind me asking?
So he's usually here Tuesdays and Thursdays, usually.
Okay. Is there any time specific, or does he just waltz right in whenever he wants?
No, it's just those days. These are full days for me. So those would probably be the days that I'd have him here. Okay.
So can we throw in a tentative Tuesday at 10 a.m.? About 30 minutes. It won't cost them a thing.
Sure. Why don't we put that in the books then? I'll make sure that he is a co-op. Sometimes 10 a.m. might be a bit early, but let's put it on the books and see if I can wrangle to get him in. We'd like to take a look and get to know this a little bit better. Okay, sounds good. I'll go ahead and send you the email right away. Other than that, Greg, enjoy the rest of your week. And I'm so glad we finally got a chance to talk. It's nice. And I'll talk to you soon. 3 months is worth the wait, Serge. Let's be, I appreciate your follow-up. Right. Thank you so much. Take care. All right, thanks, Serge. Take care. Bye.
Wow, way to go. Serge, at the beginning, you said you want to give you 5 minutes back, and I was thinking, I don't know, damn, I had 3:03 left on my timer. I'm impressed. Okay. There you go. We are going to take a quick break. For those that are in the Zoom room, if you're topping up water, hitting the bathroom, if you're flipping off your camera, all I ask is that you bring it back on so we know that you're back. For those on YouTube, we will get you back in just 4 or 5 moments. So I'm going to let you go. Welcome back. Fantastic break. I know I topped myself up, got some more caffeine. I cannot wait to see our last two pitches. This is going to be fun. Before we dig in and give Jesse the microphone, I want to quickly remind, if you're tuning in, if you're on YouTube or you're catching this asynchronously, we are here launching some amazing careers. If you'd like connections, introductions to any of our competitors, any of our grads, you can hit us up. You can reach out to us on our website at uvaro.com. Underneath talent, there's a fantastic hiring form. John, one of our judges, chats with a lot of our employers, so he's always happy to help out. John, if you want to make that easier, why don't you toss your email into the chat, and then it's embedded in the YouTube for posterity. But ultimately, we're here to make some connections, see what people can do. Why don't we keep that ball rolling? Jesse, you're up next. Are you all set up? Good? Awesome. Then I am going to mute myself. I'm going to give you the mic. Remember, what are you selling, who you're selling it to, and I'll start the timer after your intro. All yours.
Hi guys. So I'm selling Gorgeous. The name is Gorgeous, and they are a help desk for e-commerce platforms, and they use a ticket per use case system. They are advertised to be the #1 alternative for Zendesk. And I'm selling to Craig, stay as the Craig name. And he's the e-commerce manager of Stuart Weitzman. I don't know if you heard of the company before. They sell luxury women's shoes, and they're kind of like a retail company, but also sell online. So, okay. Hi, Craig. How are you?
I'm great, Jesse.
Oh, you're great. I saw on your LinkedIn page that you really like great conversation for coffee or drinks. So here's a coffee cheers. Hi.
Oh, coffee cheers. I'll do that. I use my ember mug here, my glowing ember mug that keeps it at exactly,
that's so cool.
Exactly 62 degrees Celsius all day long.
Oh, that's so cool. I don't have a fancy one, just Starbucks. Anyway, so because of COVID, we can't actually sit together and have coffee together. Like, how is COVID impacting you so far?
It's not the best time to be a retailer. So it's been a year to adapt. But for me, as the head of e-commerce, it's actually never been a better time to be in e-commerce. So we've got, I believe it's 15 locations across Canada that we're really considering. Do we need that footprint here in this market? I mean, we've had such incredible traction. We had these goals to grow our e-commerce revenue, and obviously that's kind of our hands been forced, so that's happened. So I mean, I'm faced with now more demand than I can service. So overall, I mean, for the company, we're just trying to stabilize, but from an e-commerce perspective, things are on fire in a good way, but it's also creating a lot of opportunity to make things better.
I agree. I'm actually also a customer of Stuart Weitzman. So I'm really excited to see you today. Okay. And before I dig deeper into what you mentioned, the revenue and goals to grow, I would like to let you know my plan for agenda today. So we will talk for a little bit, then if you're okay with what we're hearing so far, then I'll show you like a little bit of feature side of the product. And then at the end, if you see like it works for you and you see value in our product and it can help you with your situation right now, then we can book for another 30-minute demo with you and my account executive. And how does that sound to you?
Sounds good.
Okay. So let's I would like to know, you told me about the business part, and you have, I can see that because, I'm also a customer, a lot of stores are closing down. So I can kind of imagine they're shifting more weight on the e-commerce side, which is more work for you. And how does that affect you personally?
Well, I mean, it's been such a dramatic shift. I'd love to ask, but we can say that for a follow-up, what your experience is like shopping online. Because the experience, our online experience, become our #1 priority across the board. Just how can we remove friction from that process? Because as soon as you bump into just one too many gates, it's just easy to click off and go to any of our competitors. So the experience has just become our top priority. I think one of the things that I'm really keen to explore is thinking about how do we make every interaction we have with our customers a sales opportunity. So not just Amazon obviously mastered this, right? But when people run into a roadblock, that we can create a positive experience out of that, as opposed to an experience that turns somebody away. How can we delight in surprising ways as they go through that? And then I think we've differentiated our in-store experience to be this delightful, on-brand for Stuart Weitzman experience. How can we create that unique experience online? Those are really three things for me that I'm just trying to stay focused on.
From listening to you, I'm that type of person to listen to massive information, and then it's like a bottleneck. Then we make it simple. So I'm sorry that you have to be a stick man, but this is you.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, if we have more time, I'll draw you like a proper sketch, but this is just you for today. Yeah. And from what you see, there are two sides. So this side is more like the revenue generating. You're reaching out. It's more about conversions, like selling and having better customer experience also related to that. But do you agree with what I'm saying? Like one part is revenue. The other part is more like I like to say it like you're attacking when you're getting more revenues, but you're defending when you are improving your existing customers' experience and you're responding to their inquiries. So
totally speaking my language. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did a business degree. And so it goes like this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so could you walk me through how you're doing with like the solving problems? So let's say a customer say, where's my shipment, and send you an email. How's your team, like what's your process in terms of replying to them and everything?
Yeah, so I mean, as e-commerce has exploded for us, of course, I mean, that's been a boon of revenue coming in, but our solution right now has just been taking our sales associates from the in-store and putting them on as effectively support reps. And so we have people who used to be in stores that are now set up and trying to handle support. And I think that what that's causing is we got some people who are strong and some people who are really struggling in that environment. And so when we get questions or support, there's a lot of inconsistency in how that's being handled. And we've just had to staff up, and we're solving that problem just really with more people.
Are you using any help desk software right now or no?
Yeah, we've got a vendor in place that we're using for that.
Okay, well, many of my customers tell me they are using Zendesk. Are you using Zendesk? Okay, yeah, cool.
That's
cool. It. Okay, and is it okay if I share my screen with you and we ask questions and explain along the way?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. So here you go. And I want to let you know, if I was working for Stuart Weitzman, I would really appreciate what you're doing for your employees right now, because you're not just firing them or letting them go. You're putting them to, using them with their experience also to help online desk. So I think I really appreciate that. And if I was working for you, so yeah, with Gorgeous, it's one desk, help desk for all. So your employees wouldn't really have problems to figure out the tech savvy part. And you did tell me they worked in store before. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
Okay, and I know that you are we're collaborating with the influencers. So you get do you get messages from Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, we're so from an experience perspective, I mean, we have people who are in a support desk for when people run into issues, and then we have had to staff up a whole team that's just keeping their eye on what are people saying with regards to their experiences with us, and trying to stay on top of that as well.
I think that part can slow you down a little bit, because there's so many platforms and you have to log into this one, then that one. But with this one, with Gorgeous, it's one help desk for all. So you can get messages, as you can see, on top of this picture, from emails, Facebook. You can respond to them at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, and so that's the saving time part. And our customers, Steve Madden, they're actually also a shoe company. So they cut response time for 35%, which is like, you know, every hour you spend on this, you save 21 minutes. Would you say, like, would that help you with the, you know, replying to customers quicker situation?
Yeah, I mean, like that's a big thing for us. That time savings is big, and just the experience. I mean, right now we've got the people power that we can manage it. I think it's just, you know, how do we create the best possible experience for our customers is a big thing that's important for us.
Yes, I would imagine if I'm a customer and then I send you an email, you reply to me 5 days later, then I'm a little about the customer experience. So I think the quicker, like, would you say like quicker the better?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We need these those points of frustration just to turn into those sales opportunities.
And this saves time when they ask you a specific question, you can already pull up. This is also similar to HubSpot. They have already the information ready for you to respond. I think that can really increase like your response time to your customer to give them a better customer experience. Yeah, and you also can automate support, so it doesn't have to be manual all the time. That's what tech is for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Okay. So that's the solving for problems part. The revenue generating part, because you are all about that. Like you mentioned the goals to grow, and I read on your LinkedIn page, you said long-term thinking drives true success. I totally agree. That's why we have like this little picture that we're not only taking the problem solving part, we are looking to grow. So I have this use case with Roma. They're also in the luxury industry. So this is what their the app look like for them. If you say replacement 620, then you can see what problems you are having right now. It's like having like an inside dashboard where you can optimize your next choice, and you can kind of see like where are the problems. Yeah, would you be interested in something like this?
Yeah, I mean, this looks to me like it's something that could create some efficiency for us for sure.
Yeah, and I think like if you can take care of the current, if you can keep the current customers and not losing them and getting more as the COVID actually helps you in your favor in the way that they're shifting to online shopping, like seeing where the problems are. For example, if you use like 500 tickets for shipment, then there's something going on with the company. I think.
Yeah, I think helping us to identify where the problems are. Yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay, and do you like everything you're seeing so far? And how does this sound? Yeah.
So it certainly is interesting. I think it's worth exploring more. Again, we're looking at all kinds of options just to make our customer experience as sharp as it could be. So if we wanted to explore what would come next, Jesse? What's the next step for us to dig in a little deeper?
Okay, I'll stop sharing for now. So I would set you up with your account executive. And from what I'm hearing from you, I think you really care about the goal to grow and the revenue part. So I can make notes. I'll send notes to them, and and you saying you're using Zendesk. How many tickets are you about using right now per month?
It varies with the different selling seasons, and I'd say right now we're just coming into we're almost through our spring, so maybe anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 a week right now. It's pretty high volumes.
Sounds good. I'll send a note to my account executive. So do you have time, let's say next Tuesday around in the afternoon, 2 p.m. to book another meeting with us?
So this is the type of thing that does involve a few different people from across the team. So I mean, next week probably makes sense. I think if you sent me over some times, then what I could do for sure, I could just take those, coordinate with my team, and then confirm something with you. Would that work?
Oh, Craig, I think I really would like to see you next time, and then, you know, like send you more info after our call. Like, how about we just book it like maybe Wednesday Tuesday and Wednesday. Does Wednesday work for you? Like in the morning at
Sure.
9 a.m.? Yeah.
Well, sure. You know what? Why don't we just put the placeholder in then? So we'll get that on the books. That way we have it. And then if that doesn't work, it's okay to shuffle that around.
And how about, like, I see on your LinkedIn page, you are quite, you have many like involvements with your friend Callum, and would you say he would be a good option to bring to our next call?
Callum can, yeah, he can kind of dominate a meeting sometimes, and so if this is the kind of thing that we need to loop him into, I'll see about bringing him in, but I'll make sure he, just does what he needs to do in the call.
Okay, so it's the same email. I'm assuming it's the same email for like when I book this meeting. I'll send you the invites right now, and I can send you more info using like a video, a short 2-minute video, and before your next meeting. Yeah.
I think a summary just to make sure our team's up to speed would be helpful. So yeah, send that over, and I'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Okay, thank you, and coffee, cheers, bye. Oh. Have a good day.
Thank you, Jesse. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well done. Wow. I was watching the timer, on the inside, team chat at 3 minutes. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get to use the gong, but I had 1:05 when you wrapped up there. Well done. And gotta love that you threw that curveball on pulling Callum in. For those that don't know, Callum's one of the instructors and a great colleague and one of the most respectful people ever. Greg, I can't imagine him dominating a conversation. Way to throw him under the bus. Come on. This is a good time. Jesse, great job. Oh my goodness. I see notes, scores coming in. Thought that was a great representation of Greg. Really accurate, stick figure. Got incredible in physique, right, in the details. After all of the workout and the gym routine work, stick figure was a great illustration. Good. We've got one more competitor lined up before we jump in. Jesse, how are you feeling now that you're done?
I actually have a little secret. So I was supposed to set a timer for myself, but I forgot to press it. I think I got too excited. So I kind of got lost, and then I was like looking at the time and totally didn't know what was going on with the time. So I'm glad I made it in 15 minutes.
Great time sense. Well done.
Yeah, hearing that, Jesse. Yeah, I was watching the clock, and I mean we haven't been able to use the gong yet, Jesse.
I know,
right?
I know.
But that was well managed, especially in light of that.
So there we go. Quick check in from the judges. How are you doing on your scores? Are you good to move forward? I see thumbs. Okay, we're sitting in a good spot. Philip, before we jump in, you all set? Any questions? Any blockers? Oh, 2 thumbs up. Love it. Okay, you're the anchor in this relay. This is going to be a blast. Again, what you're selling, who you're selling it to. After you finish your intro, I'll press that timer and put 15 minutes on the clock. But I'm going to mute myself. The floor is yours.
Hey guys, Philip Arizona here. My company that I'm going to be demoing is called Airtable. Their product, I think, is also called Airtable, and it's a customizable collaboration platform that's tailored for project management, allows for a very flexible workflow across like multiple teams. My buyer/project is a marketing manager, no specific organization in mind. He has a small but growing team, and he relies on a lot of vendors because the design team isn't part of the marketing department, and they don't do their own video in-house. Some issues that he might be running into, they want a single source of information that anybody can kind of access on his team to keep track of projects, something that's easy to control, and some way that he can manage all these different vendors and from different departments. Okay. Greg, hey, how you doing, man?
Phil, it's good to be talking to you again.
It's good to be talking to you as well. Thanks for taking my call again. I know the first time it was a quick chat. Hopefully we can kind of get some more pain points from you this time, dig a little deeper. Just to kind of set the stage here. What I'm going to be doing quickly is just, asking you a bunch of questions just to figure out, if we are a good fit for sitting at the right table. Then, if that works out, I'll do a little quick demo of Airtable. And, if you like Airtable, then I'll probably be asking you for an even deeper dive with an AE and maybe some other people from the team, depending on what your needs are. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
All right, cool. So, I mean, the first question, how are you guys currently handling your project management kind of situation?
Oh man. So we've got unlike most software companies out there, we've got a small but mighty team. I know all the software companies of the world have these big teams with all kinds of people doing all the work. Well, we've got just a small but mighty team. And so we've got a combination of people on the team here, and then we've got outside vendors that we use, and then we're kind of stealing work from other departments just to get the job done. So it's a pretty integrated web of people all trying to work together, which is good. I mean, it brings the benefits, but obviously has some challenges that come along with it for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a little hectic, navigating a spider's web out there.
Yeah.
I guess the next question, like we're obviously speaking for a reason. You want to get something done. What are your plans for world domination in terms of the organization here? Sorry, I just noticed the book back there.
Yeah, my plans to take over the world. That was a gift from my team. So for me, I think what we need to do, I mean, we have some big projects that we've got to pump out in the next few months.
Okay.
I think ultimately though, I mean, we're running into a challenge where we can have these big goals that we set. There's just not accountability internally because other things come up that can take our internal resources. And then what we've had happen with some of these outside vendors that we work with is our team's just got so much going on that, I mean, we can just sometimes jump all over each other and be our own worst enemy in a lot of ways, and just create some challenges by double communicating or miscommunicating with each other. So, I mean, I'd say that we've got some big plans, but we've got some hurdles we got to overcome.
So what do you guys use currently for communication? I noticed that you mentioned that that's an issue.
Yeah, so I mean, while we've got some sophisticated systems internally, I think this is part of the challenge. Actually, fellas, that everything's got a bit of a different tool that they use. So our internal teams are collaborating on a set of systems, and then our vendors are using something different. And so we've just resorted to some tracking of what we do on different Google Sheets. We were able to get off spreadsheets, so now we're on to virtual collaboration. It's in the cloud, but it's still pretty basic because just that's been our issues. Everyone's using something different. So when we were trying to put things into systems to track activity, it just didn't work.
How do your vendors feel about kind of having to jump off their own platforms?
Well, to be honest, the vendors typically, even though they're our clients, they kind of make us feel like they got to shift that. So, we're their client. They kind of flip that around. And we end up doing a lot of that tracking work ourselves to keep those sheets up to date instead of them doing that work. So that just causes a bit more of a headache for us.
Okay. I mean, the next big question is like, based on some of the things that I'm hearing here, like in terms of internal accountability is an issue, people jumping over top of each other. How do you guys handle who takes what projects?
Another good question. I've got a couple of rock star people on the team that I think it's whoever's got capacity.
Right.
So it's a little subjective. So we'll tend to just fire things around based on, we get some sense of who's got some space. But these things will come up in a team meeting. We have people putting up their hands. So we're not being super formulaic in how we approach that. I'd say that we get some balls getting dropped, but we managed to pull some late nights and get the job done.
So hopefully this future solution kind of yours gives some time back to people. I guess another huge question, just based off that, the fact that, you have a lot of people giving input on how these projects get done. Have there been any like successful suggestions or even like big failures that we want to kind of avoid from a project management tool?
I mean, I think whenever you try to bring a system in to a business like ours, I mean, everyone's got a tool they're using, and so where we're gonna fail or fall down is if we try to put something in place that changes everybody else's workflow. I think we're just not gonna have success there. So putting anything in place that requires other teams to adopt the tool that we want to use just isn't gonna work. So we need to find a way to introduce a way of working that improves our processes, but also respects that other tools and other systems are in place.
So it sounds like flexibility is kind of something that you're looking for here.
Yeah,
so in terms of like a follow-up meeting, if we do end up getting one booked here after I show you this little demo, would there be anybody that, is a key kind of stakeholder in terms of your workflows that knows how to get the job done that you might want to include?
Well, what I'd probably say, I mean, I would, there's a key person on the team that I want to bring in. So she's one of our just key project leads. So I'd want to, any tools we're looking at, it's probably going to ultimately fall to her to just run with the implementation. Not strongly technical though, and so I'd actually put that back to you on what kind of resources do you tend to have to include. I mean, I'm not interested in a big technical project, so just do I need engineering and go beg and borrow for an engineering resource, or is this an IT job? Just I'd put that back to you to tell me who else I should have.
Honestly, that's one of our strengths in terms of implementation. We have a whole team, like an implementation team that'll kind of work through that process with you and make sure that the solution works exactly the way you need it. Really, what I'm looking for from you guys is just some input on, how you want that workflow to look. So I would definitely include somebody from my implementation team. From you guys, I would suggest that maybe we have somebody from security come in to, make sure we're a good fit there. And just some of your ringleaders in terms of, project management and workflows that we can, get a good idea of how you guys get this stuff done.
Yeah, that's helpful.
So I guess now based on, what I've gotten here, I feel like we're kind of sitting in the same room. I'll let you make that final decision. I'm going to jump into the demo if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I would love to just see a little bit more about what we're looking at.
All right, cool. I will definitely show you the product here. And if I can find it, unfortunately, I'm sorry. There's a lot of tabs I've got here, and my second screen isn't popping up. Yeah, sorry.
Leaning in is making me feel like I should grab my glasses too, just to make sure.
Oh, you also wear glasses?
Yeah, I lost a pair and I broke a pair, and it's just not the time to go visit the optometrist.
Interesting. I've never broken a pair of glasses. Hopefully you can see my screen here. It says marketing campaigns on top.
Got it. Yep.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, never broken a pair. Definitely outgrown a bunch though.
Outgrown, okay.
Yeah, currently I'm wearing contacts. Yeah, man, every couple of years, it's just the eyesight gets worse.
I thought you meant you just have a head growth or head shrinking problem. I didn't.
You know what I'm
sure.
I'm sure I did when I was younger. Also, don't feed my ego. You never know what's gonna happen.
There you go. Yeah.
So we're gonna use a quick example of a digital video project. So let's say you've got your marketing team and you've got a bunch of different vendors and you've got Steve sitting on your team figuring out where, and you ask Steve, let's say, how are the projects going? You want a quick update. Well, Steve's got a super easy way to do that by just checking the status checker, for example. And inside the status checker, not only is he going to see, who the project leads are on that team, or on those projects, I should say, but you can also see exactly where those projects are. And I mean, this is, saying that you don't have the time to do this quick little one click as well. In terms of agency contacts or like, people that you're working with, they're there. And you mentioned that like you have people that are kind of jumping all over each other for, communications on projects. Well, the project lead kind of area really does a good job of just telling you who's the person in charge and who should be taking that lead. So you can always defer to that in terms of kind of getting that done. And in terms of just the whole, workflow needs to be different. We can take a look at various kind of options for how you want to handle a project. So anything from, a quick, easy grid, Gantt charts. Sorry, it was disabled recently as my free trial has run out. I apologize. I can't show you the Gantt chart. I'm gonna have to talk to somebody on my team to get that going again. Or even like a Kanban view or a calendar. Again, super sorry. Didn't have that working this morning.
It must be a demo.
It is.
I've demoed software before, and this is just what happens when you run one.
Yeah, I really apologize about that. But based on just what I've told you, not what you've seen, does that sound like something that you guys would be interested in?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I like more than a good whiteboard chat or a Gantt chart conversation. So I think you're definitely speaking my language.
Okay.
Cool. So I mean, I think, and there's definitely more to dig into here because we do need something like this. You've already talked a little bit about who might be included, but just what does the process look like on your side for us to keep a conversation going or to learn a little bit more?
The process for us, really, I'd want to book another deeper dive demo as soon as you're kind of available. I know that you said you've got a couple of big projects that are on the go. So I don't know if you'd want to kind of wait until those are done, or if you want to get this going ahead of those projects. What does the timeline look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big question is always going to come down to implementation. So how long does it really take to get a tool like this up and running? And so our goals are in the third quarter. So we've probably got a narrow window where we could get something implemented. So I mean, we'd want to move quickly, but don't want to rush it if we're just going to be taking on a project that's too big to realistically tackle.
Okay, well then I think we're definitely going to want to talk to someone on our implementation team for this next meeting to just get a kind of a good scope of how long this would take. So like based on what I'm hearing from you, I'm hearing some positive feedback. I think we can book that kind of next deeper dive. How's your Wednesday looking? And I'm gonna ask again if there's anybody else that you want to kind of have on that meeting from your like rock stars, I guess.
Yeah, well, I think you give me a good list of people to include, and so I think I can work off of that list. As I mentioned before, everybody's just got a lot of running around that they're doing. So, I mean, I think you said Wednesday. I can do some digging around and just get back to you on some times that could work next Wednesday or Thursday for sure.
Honestly, let's why don't we do like something nice and easy, maybe just after lunch for Wednesday. We'll do a tentative booking, and you know what, if we got to shuffle that around, no problems at all on our side.
Okay, well, you know what, why don't we just put that on then? It may not work with all, we tend to extend our lunches from time to time, but when we just need to get out and do a walk around. But I think that's a good call. Let's put it on the calendar, and then we'll pick this up next week.
All right, cool. Pick it up. Just to kind of go back, we definitely want somebody from our implementation team. Your guys are going to be on there. I'll send you a Calendly link if that's all right, so you can kind of easily share that with your team members.
Yep.
And my account executive will be on that call as well. Maybe I'll even drop in the first little bit.
All right, that sounds good, Phil. I appreciate it. I got a jet, but this has been helpful. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, no problem, and hopefully I give you 30 seconds back of your time. Cheers, Greg. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
Way to go. 30 seconds. You were holding yourself to a high standard. I had 1:13 on my clock here. Well done.
Thank you.
Nicely done with the demo that was ish.
I swear that was working earlier. I swear to God.
It's like the four stages of demo grief. Why isn't this working? I swear it was. How did that ever go? Okay.
Yeah.
Greg's a nice guy, luckily.
Well, this will happen on every demo any of you ever do. Is exactly what just happened to Phil. So.
Totally, 100%. So, Phil, you're wrapped up. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling good. I was a little nervous going into it. It almost felt like not real starting, To be honest, it was like, oh, let's just start this. But yeah, I think it went well.
Oh, so to give our judges a couple of minutes to finish off their notes as well, we put them all in the hot seat early on. We asked them, what's the first thing you ever sold? So for our competitors like Roxy, Serge, Jesse, Phil, I'm gonna ask you in the same order. What's the first thing you'd ever sold? And if today's product was the first one, let us know, because these are in. But we'd love to set that stage, because we know this is challenging, and we've got an amazing variety of backgrounds here. But let's hear it. Roxy, can you start us off? What's the first thing you ever sold?
First thing I ever sold, I don't know who's familiar with like Cutco knives, like there we go. Like a 16-year-old comes to your house, cuts a bunch of stuff, and then goes, please buy a knife. Yeah, that was me. That's how it all started. And I was like, if I can do this with a knife, I can do this with anything.
Love it. Love it. Serge, what about you? What was your first thing?
So ironically, before Cutco, I think my first selling job of 14, I was selling cologne door to door. It was absolutely horrendous, but I made it though. I made some money, so it wasn't bad.
Cologne door to door. Man, I don't know which of those is a tougher sell, knives or cologne door to door. I guess it depends on who's
definitely cologne. Come on, I have to spray you and then you have to smell something and confirm to me that you think it smells good. That's a whole nother ordeal.
Jesse, what about you? What was your first experience?
It depends. Like a personal one will be in, let's say, middle school or junior school when I sold books to my friends. Nice. Like to kind of take advantage of the time so they don't have time to buy it. Then they give me a little money, then I'll sell the books to them, kind of that type. But then professionally, it will be retail. And university, I did some retail. I worked at Bath and Body Works, so it will be similar to Serge, but not the fancy ones. Yeah.
Nice. Love that. Marking up the book sales. That's a good one. Phil, what about you?
The first thing I ever sold was a camera package at Best Buy. So I ended up getting like a part-time seasonal job for the Christmas season, and I was in the camera department, and it was I think it was a Canon. Don't know exactly what model, but he also bought 2 lenses, and I upsold him on a carrying case and a tripod. And the way I did it, unfortunately, was I gave him a pretty hefty discount. Like we had like a certain kind of thing. And I'm like, listen, if you buy both of these lenses and this tripod, I will give you 20% off, which is huge for like, honestly, spending like $3,000. So that was the first sale.
There you go. Leverage the discounts. We'll give you props for that. I don't know if your floor manager did, but we'll give you props for it.
Honestly, it was the first sale, so I don't think he could say anything. But if I kept doing it, yeah, probably.
Good stuff. We want to make sure that we get our scores in, get our feedback in. If folks just tuned in to the stream, you will be hearing the champion in a few minutes. You got to stay tuned to the end. Greg, before we get to the individual judges' feedback, any commentary, any general overview notes you want to share?
Oh man, so I think my general feeling was that to swing from True Coach, fitness software, to Airtable, project management, to sales manager, but then I think getting to know about women's footwear through Stuart Weitzman. So Jesse, I don't know if you get like a kickback on that or something as a customer. Just a really cool range of products. So that was exciting to see. Kudos to Callum and Sheila and Alex, because I think seeing how every demo ended in a booked meeting was a pretty impressive feat. So just well done, everybody across the board. Solid, just solid. I don't think I was able to push anybody too hard over the course of today. And so I feel like you were anticipating, I've got this page of objections all ready to go, but you proactively addressed them. So way to go, everybody, and well done.
Love it. Quick check-in. I know I saw some scores, some comments coming in. Greg, you up for walking us through the judges' feedback?
I would love to. Yeah, so thank you to our team of judges. The way we'll walk through is, so 4 competitors, 4 judges. So we're gonna look to have each of you comment on one. And so we're gonna lead off. So we'll have Ian, you're gonna comment, just give some feedback and comments on our first competitor of the day, Roxy. Just do a quick walk through, and from there we'll move to John. But kick us off, Ian. How do you think Roxy did?
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, Roxy, awesome work. The beginning to the end, you were building rapport. I think that was by far your biggest strong suit. You're really great on your feet, being able to adapt and sort of, challenge, handle objections. That was really great to see. You made a couple comments. I don't know if you had these prepared, but the sort of free show, the sort of dog coming in, medals on the wall, like all of those, like really great. Again, I don't know if you had those sort of in your back pocket, but really loved how you built rapport. I think in a 15-minute conversation, super tough to get it all in, and you did. The demo was short. I think it could work in your advantage, but it also could take away. Sort of in one side, it created this illusion of, oh, there's something more to be revealed, and you sort of drive to that next call. But on the flip side, it sort of could have left the prospect a little bit, sort of wondering if it's the right fit. Something to consider there. But hey, you got the close. You ended up booking the next meeting, so you can dig in more there. But overall, really, really great work.
Thank you, Ian. I really appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Ian. All right, and we have our very own John. John, so you're going to talk a little bit about Serge and what we saw from the world of fitness training applications. So John, over to you. I'm looking for you on my screen.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. When I looked at that schedule, it hurt me deeply that I was not engaging in, any physical activity with any kind of regularity. So made me quite jealous. Serge, it did a great job in terms of the questions that you had, and then that mirroring on when you did that summary. That was really awesome. And then it gave Greg actually an opportunity to say, oh, there's one more thing that we didn't even talk about. So really digging in. Really ambitious with that 5-minute kind of, it was a soft promise, I guess, of giving the time back. I think, in a way that's of course helpful, but I think there were opportunities to dig a little bit deeper into the impact of those pains that Greg might have had. So, if we had spent a couple more minutes on those, could have really twisted the knife on those pains. Great demo. It was obvious to me that it seems to me that you had a familiarity with the software, and you were able to show a lot, and great recovery when you had that little tech glitch. I think that happens from time to time, and the buyers aren't gonna they're not going to care too much. And obviously in your case, you recovered very quickly. Great job on closing the next steps. I think it was actually, I really like that you had, you considered Greg's, if he had the co-op who needed to join, you wanted to make sure that the scheduling was going to work out with that. Yeah, overall, really great demo. I really appreciated that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, John. We'll move next to Ed. Ed, you speak a little bit about Jesse, and there's some kudos going to Ed too, who's one of the guest speakers in the cohort on demo prep. So that was a bit of a superpower that came in handy here. So thanks for that, Ed. Over to talk a little bit about Jesse.
So this is you rocking that demo. I love that you did that. I think the whiteboard was just fantastic. And I talk about this a lot in coaching, that for all this fancy demo stuff we have, this $6 whiteboard at Target, I use this more than just about anything else. And so I love how you incorporated that. It was such a great way to keep Greg engaged, because you were responding to him. He was kind of watching what you were doing. It gave you all kinds of ways to interact with him. And it's different. And the more different you are, the more people are going to remember that. So I thought that was just so good. Some other things that I thought worked really well. I thought you did a great job with rapport building. Again, I really need to know more about this fancy mug that Greg has. So I thought that was just the coffee thing was a nice way to get him going, get the conversation going. The other thing you did that I really thought was great was you showed a lot of empathy, particularly around when you were talking about redeploying employees and how hard it is dealing with employees in this climate. And you did it in such a way that it was a hard thing to talk about, but you did it in a very sort of supportive way. And I thought it was a really well handled. So really nice job with that. On the thing that you might want to consider working on a little bit was just in some of the questions were a bit too closed-ended or almost too open-ended. So at the beginning, when you open with how did COVID impact you, that's one that there are so many ways that question can go. And especially if maybe there's a personal implication there, maybe there's some family stuff or whatever, it could go in a direction you really don't want it to go. So you want to be really careful with a question like that. And then at the end with the, do you like everything you see so far? What if he said no? So that might be okay. If you're ready for that, that's totally fine. You just want to be able to adjust there. And then the whole thing bringing Callum in, I think Greg clearly didn't like that. So it's kind of like you had him, but then it was almost making him feel a little less important when he'd already agreed to the meeting. So just be careful with that. But, really great job again. The whiteboard thing was just so cool. I was so impressed with that.
Nice. And just so you know, Callum doesn't come in and dominate a meeting. Callum's actually a great person to have in a meeting. Just to be clear, for all of us viewing here, I would have been thrilled to have you in a meeting, Callum. Just want to say that, especially if it was one that Jesse was hosting. All right. So thanks, Ed, so much. And our fourth and final judge. So Jeff, would love for some of your commentary around our last presenter, Phil. Just some feedback for Phil would be great.
Yeah, Phil, I thought you did an awesome job. You've got an awesome voice, very calming, very soothing way, great tone and pace, which I think is a great way to use. Very, very approachable. And I think that was reciprocated. You really felt Greg was really calm and with you the whole way through. But use that. You're so easy to talk to. Use that a little bit more up front to build that rapport a little further and start letting them know a little bit more something that's interesting about yourself and kind of connected with that on a deeper level. I thought you asked really awesome questions as well, like really, really good questions. It kind of really got at the scope all of these sort of company challenges and company pains that they were facing. But the big thing you want to look out for is if you have a buyer like Greg that's saying a lot of like, we are working on this, we are impacting here, we are doing X, Y, and Z, you want to kind of dig a little deeper on that and dig into, what about you, Greg? You specifically, how is that impacting you specifically in your role? Like, what's that doing to your life inside, but also outside of work? Are you losing time? Are you sleeping okay? That's like really pressure. That's really stressful. Really connect with that and dig into you specifically, because that's going to be the emotional piece where at the end, if he's hesitant about booking that meeting, you can dig into those pains saying, hey, Greg, like, I know you said you've been sleeping 2 less hours a week or two less hours every night. Like, let's set up this meeting. I want to make sure you're getting your sleep because this is like, we're going to solve this for you. Get really, really excited and pumped up about that. That's a really big thing. You got really great company insights. Dive into the you, that emotional aspect. That emotion is what's actually going to get them to move and move forward. I guess the last thing I'd say, ROI, again, start capturing, you got the company aspect. What's the time? What's the dollars and cents around these challenges? The longer you wait, what's going to be the issue there? I know that's really tough to do in a short demo, but I think it's something to think about. And the last thing I would say, I know sort of trials and stuff run out, but in terms of how you're positioning yourself, sit a little closer to the camera. I know it's kind of normal when you're nervous and stuff, you're swiveling a little bit, sitting back, kind of comes off that you might not be as interested. Love that you were taking notes and that was visible because it shows that you're listening, but sit a little closer, sit engaged, kind of make sure that you're there as opposed to sitting back and swiveling. But overall, you did an awesome job. And I think this was, yeah, a great start.
Thank you. That was really good feedback. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you to each of our judges. That's great feedback.
Greg, this is awesome. I know that the scores are coming in. It looks like it's really tight. I know everyone's super eager to get to the championship, the winning, the crown. I'm going to ask you to do that in a moment, but need to do the quick obligatory commercial break. If you're here on YouTube, take a moment to hit that subscribe and that like button. We're here to launch some amazing careers, and the more we share these streams, the better success we have. So yeah, click that button, hit the like, hit the share. A lot of us are stuck, helping our kids study from home, working from home. That means you don't have a lot of other things to do. You could share the links with your friends and family. They'll like that too. But we really want to get to the winner. So let's stop the preamble. Greg, are the scores in? Are you good and ready and set to announce a winner?
Let me just do one final check, because as you mentioned, it is very close, and we don't want to do an awkward Oscar quality caliber miss announcement here.
Then while you're
we do have it appears the scores have stopped moving and they are in, just
okay. We're in a good spot. So we're gonna announce the winners. We're gonna take care of a little bit of housekeeping afterwards, because we've got some more really exciting events coming up, and then we'll let folks go. But Greg, why don't you roll us in? Quick thing before we do, anybody who's in the Zoom room, if you can unmute yourself so that when you applaud and the crowd goes wild, our folks can hear it and celebrate. So take that moment to unmute. I know I said the house rules were to keep yourself muted, but this is when we break those rules. Okay, Greg, bring us home. Tell us who wins.
All right, Joseph, 21-2, Team Get That Bread winner for Demo Day is Roxy.
Oh,
yeah!
All right.
So well done.
Hell yeah, girl.
Thank you to my Euro brother. Thank you.
I think from that Instagram post, Roxy, the crown is being made for you and not for Phil today. You should share that on Instagram. Reshare.
This is awesome. Fantastic job, everyone. It was a great competition. Feedback was awesome. Quick note for our class and our competitors: you'll get the full notes, from the judging scorecards. Afterwards, you'll be able to debrief it tomorrow. This is going to be a good time. Before we dig into that housekeeping, I want to share a little bit of content for our YouTube group. If you enjoyed this event, you enjoy participating, hearing some great sales tips, we have a couple of upcoming events. Our next demo day is in a month, Thursday in the beginning of June, 6 to 8 p.m. It's always that first Thursday, so feel free to check it out and follow there. As well, we have another event that's open to the public coming up on Tuesday, May 18th, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern. We've got another cold call blitz. That is open not just to our students and our grads, but the public. So if you want to brush off some skills, if you're curious about what cold calling is like, or you want to put a new script, some new questions through their paces, come and join us for some live practice. That's how we get better every single day. And then the last thing I'd like to say before we let our audience on YouTube go is a big congratulations to our competitors. Getting here is a huge challenge. You made it through a huge crucible of 12 weeks. To our winner, Roxy, amazing job, great job. And especially to our judges, thank you so much for your time, your energy. The feedback is amazing. We could not do this without you. If you are on YouTube and tuning in to the stream, you'll see LinkedIn links and company notes in the description. Check them out. Follow these amazing leaders because they are doing some great stuff and they've been very generous with their time. But for those of you who have joined us via YouTube, I'm going to let you go. Hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll chat with you soon.